guys, this is Crap Hunter, and welcome to another episode of the World of Tanks. Now, released this episode, and hopefully I release this as fast as I can, because of a big announcement. The 8.5 patch is about to go live, which means that the replays that I've been saving up to make a decent video now have to be played out. So, before we go into it, I'm about there with the KV1, if you're wondering. I just need a couple more. I just need about a couple more games of double XP and a few lucky games, and we'll be able to get the KV1S and start working our way towards the D25T. Very much looking forward to that, and also very much looking forward to the new bunch of features that the new patch 8.5 will bring. One of which will bring a new class of tier. So I'm gonna remember this. This is going to be the last time I'm going to look at this tank, the VK 3002DB, and think of it as a bit of a useless tank. It won't be anymore, because it will then take us down to the extra line, which will be here in the text tree. Kind of funny looking at something that you know is going to change very soon. Odd feeling. Anyway, so you no doubt many of you will have remembered that this will be the ultimate in medium tanks. In fact, it will be better than the E50. Well, some say the armor of the E50 will be better than the... Go check out Bohemian Eagle's review about it, and you'll be able to see the differences for yourself. Apart from that, though, looking very much forward to that, and a whole bunch of new features which will make gaming so much better. Until then, though, let's keep your appetite satisfied with a few very, very good games. Ironically, two of them are in my Tiger. Yeah, the non-elite crew Tiger, I will also add. Oh, it's just crazy. I mean, I've been in this tank for God knows how long, and this tank's been doing absolutely fantastically well. In fact, I kind of just casually played, and I didn't feel like I had to work too much for this thing, and now all of a sudden, kapooey. And I was facing up against tier 9s and 10s, so why the hell I can't do that in this thing, I don't know. Maybe it's the camouflage. Maybe it's the fact that I can be camouflaged in this thing and I can't with this. Important. Anyway, so I will take you to the first one, which will feature none other than our KV1. And this will basically show you how a KV1 is meant to be played, or at least how it is meant to be played when you're at the top tier. See you then, guys. And we're back. So here we are on Muranovkana. I can't remember. Anyway, so we are in the KV1. I am the top tier. This is one of the first matches I ever was top tier. And the match kind of was quiet for a good portion of it, for me at least, because everything... Well, okay, I'm going to say that's it for me. So, anyway, so we're going along, and KV1 is doing absolutely fantastic. I'm really liking this tank. I'm just trying to sort of figure out what's going on. I was kind of staring at the mini-map because, as you can see, everyone's going to the forest, or what I hear is called the Magical Forest. And a couple of Panzer IVs come along my way, along with this Medium 3. You'll like this guy. So I'm sort of like, okay, I've got some backup, not much, but what are we going to do? And the Panzer IV instantly discovers two enemy tanks, one light and one medium. This is where the 85mm comes into its own. Panzer IV, decently armoured, and of course the first shot ricochets, but with a decent crew, and bang! There's half of the tank's health gone. Unfortunately, the Panzer IV does take a hit, but now I'm starting to spam shots into it, using the fact of my size and my tank to take cover. There is the luckiest ricochet you'll ever see. Look at that, right on the turret, so there you go. See what I mean? This thing just feels invincible, and I have to admit, I felt like such a badass in this thing. Of course, this guy I started to get worried about because, shock and horror, he had a high velocity gun. So I was afraid of this man. Unfortunately, I wouldn't get the kill. But as you can see, I'm being dinged a lot. I'm assuming it's the Stuart. No, the Stuart was dead. So yeah, whoever was shooting at me clearly wasn't doing anything. So I was staring in front of this, at the front, to try and see where the enemy tank was. There you go, another shot impacted. Couldn't see where the hell this guy was. Really difficult. I tell you, it was a bit annoying actually, because I just thought, well, I'll tracer fire. So I was like, hang on, where is he? At this point, I was a bit more preoccupied with the Panzer IV and everything. So medium 3 gets out. I'm trying to move into position, and there is the disadvantage of a KV. It's not so fast. I got shot at by the other KV, so I thought, right, no, bugger this. I'm not going to take the fire. So I'm just throwing shots out there to try and react to it. And as you can see, luckily dodged a bit of artillery by the Sturmpanzer. So now here I am trying to find a way of getting a shot at the T-14, but realising it was on the other side of the map, I was like, actually, nah, I'll forget about that. So the medium 3, and now I'm going to do something, a little bit of a tutorial top tip. What I'm going to do, now as you can see, the medium 3 is electing to go down to the far right of the map. You can see where he's going to go. You can see he's going to go down there and to the right to try and find a flanking option to open up the view range and everything. Now, actually, let's go a little bit further forward before I say anything else. So, and stop. Okay, I'm going to try and do an educational factor. Now, the medium 3 is made a major mistake. Now, I'm doing this so that if any people who are watching this are new to World of Tanks, they can understand what's going on. The medium 3 is a tier 3 tank. You can see the little number there. You can also note that it hasn't got very angled armor. Well, it hasn't got much angled armor, which means it won't be able to ricochet many shots. And we're facing against tier 4s and 5s, and most of the tier 3s, though there are some, aren't here. Also note, the enemy has lots of bushes to take behind. You know, the art of not being able to. Sorry, what was it? How not to be seen, art number 1. So as I'm approaching the top of the hill, I know for a fact that there's something going to be there. That's why I didn't follow this route. And unfortunately, about 2, 1, and bang! The Hetzer, you could just see there, the enemy Hetzer on the opposing team completely kills him off. Which is a shame because he was a good player, and I spotted the Hetzer. And I was like, right, okay, I'm going to get you back for that. Silver Talon shows where the Hetzer was, because I actually wasn't sure where he was entirely. So I was like, hang on, is he there? I wasn't sure, so bang, I threw a shot in. And I'm going to add another little educational lesson here. Now, I know if you've been shot, Now, I don't exactly know what this player was doing. He might have been trying to fall back, he might have been doing something, but one thing that is a definite thing you should do is always move when you've made your shot. It doesn't matter whether you've got the perfect camping spot, because if you don't move, bang, you get killed. Now that Hetzer, and I'm not being harsh again, I'm just throwing out tactics, that Hetzer should have moved. In the time it took me to fire and reload, he could have moved and been able to avoid that shot. So that was me just being polite to the medium 3. So a little tip for the future: if you're a camper and all that jazz, or if you like to take cover and all that, remember to move, because otherwise, once you fire, people will hone in on your position and get onto you. Now, unfortunately, this is, as you can see, where the main disadvantage of this tank lies, is its speed. Now, I'm not going to risk it at this late in the game and try and go over the top. So now I'm taking up a defensive position. The KV-1 that's facing us, trying to get a decent shot. Of course, penetration, no damage. What are you going to do? Bang! There's a solid hit. And we're aiming again. Bang! Ricochet, of course. And do I get the kill? Do I get the kill? No, I don't. Close. So, like I said, even though I've got the top gun in the tank, it still doesn't really apply. It still doesn't work too well. Now, I've no idea why the Marder 2 wasn't paying attention, because he saw his mate get killed by my tank, and he knew I was coming. In fact, I'd fired twice, 3 to 4 times before I killed off the enemy tank. Now, there's the Su-85. Unfortunately, I try and throw a shot in, but it's too late. Panzer IV, who decides to take cover back there, I land a... Nope, I don't land a shot. I miss a complete shot. The enemy tank, there, he's got a high velocity gun, so... Oh, no, I did steal that kill. I thought of something. So now, here I am looking at where the artillery is. And the artillery tries to pepper me, and that's the first shot I take damage with. So I'm trying to get back in to have a shot, but unfortunately by that point of the game, someone was able to get a clean shot, knocking him out. So as you can see, when you're the top tank, it feels so good. I haven't been top tank in months, if in fact a year. No, that's a bit too drastic. I'll just say about a few months. It's been absolutely a dream with this tank, and I really like it. But as you can see, the disadvantages of this thing is quite plain to see. It's just not fast. And of course, if you're in a higher tier match, you kind of never have a chance anyway, except the fact when you've got the 85mm. I mean, even then, when you've got the 85mm, you haven't got much of a chance, so... But yeah, either way. So, as you can see, good tank all around. That shot, that ricocheted, the 105. See, derp gunners, it isn't all about the size of the gun you've got, it's how good the penetration is. Otherwise, the standard gun that you get, the L48, is about 100, 110 on that thing, and that would have penetrated. That should have penetrated on my tank. So as you can see, that would have put me in a real bad position, because not only would the tank mantlet be destroyed, it will probably have killed off the driver, killed off the commander or the gunner, and then it could have caused problems, but luckily he had a derp gun instead of a proper gun. Anyway, so I'll see you in the 2 Tiger matches. And we're back. So, as you can see, we are faced up against tier 9s and tier 8s. And, yeah, I wasn't feeling too confident. There's Silent Daimyo. I was having a couple of sessions with him on that one. And, yeah, he's only just recently got his Churchill Mark 7, and congratulations to him. There he is, right there. Oh, look at that, Tiger 2, with the gun that I want. Anyway, so I was going to make my usual plan on heading into the town, and we were starting to make our way there, and I'd completely been stupid trying to type, we got tier 9s here, when all of a sudden I realised our AC mile 48 is taking some heavy fire. Now, unfortunately, it made it a little bit harder to shoot into the tank. But I thought for a second, let's try and engage this Conqueror, because it's a tier 9. If I got the kill, if it were albeit a Vulture at this point, it would still be quite nice. But by this point, the Conqueror was about screwed. He was pretty much screwed, and as the SU-122-44 showed, he just got ripped. So, I decided to head to the right-hand flank there, and unfortunately Dupier didn't have a fire extinguisher, is what that resulted in his death, which is quite sad. So, the AC Mile 48, 21 hit points, absolutely close to the mark, and I take a shot, but luckily it was a penetration, no damage. Very lucky indeed. Don't forget that most of the vehicles in this match can easily overwhelm my armor. I've got 100 armor on the front, can't remember on the sides, but not much on the sides either. So I decided to go and help out our friends here, who I don't know why he's taking cover behind a whole building. I'm thinking he's a little bit overcautious, but whatever. So I go help out our Scissor the Krakow friend in taking out the Jagdpanzer and AC Mile 46. So I decided to try and take a shot at this Jagdpanzer. Fortunately it misses, and I kind of do the honour thing, and then of course he decides to go in front, because he just realises where I am. Bang! There's my first kill. So, thank you, Mr. Tiger 2. And an AC Mile 48-6 comes along. Unfortunately, he goes out of sight. By this point, we've realised there is 2 tanks, and once again, Mr. 21 hit points AC Mile is coming in to help. And good God, is it close? He's got 2 light tanks coming at him. So I go in to help out, as what I can do, trying to spook the guy out, and it's very difficult to make a shot in here, but then bang, I got him detracked, and AC Mile does a very decent blow. Now for some reason the enemy tank doesn't turn his turret around. I'm not sure whether that's just because of how the tank's designed. So there's a second kill for me. So this time we've got a T-34-1. This is kind of freaky, because I'm like, ah crap. Now don't forget, my elite panzer crew is on the Tiger 2, so I'm just running with a 89% crew here. No specialties, no extra stuff, just that. And I have to say, this tank is performing, and this is the kind of thing that I wish I could do on my Tiger, because I'm duking it out and working with this, and I was really just kind of playing about with this. I wasn't really paying too much Normally with my Tiger, you know that feeling where you're in your mode, you're in your moment, you're one with the tank, whatever. Either how. So we're being flanked on both sides, and I realised, right, okay, I'm going to pay the ultimate price if I don't do something clever. So realising I had backup behind me, I thought, well no, I'm not going to put myself into a really stupid position. So I decided to cover both sides of the tank. And unfortunately, Yigal destroys the Silent Daimyo, which is a real shame. But, we are in a tier 8 match and he's only got a tier 6 tank, so I can't really be surprised. So the AMX-90 tries to make a shot, and I give him a good little marker of, excuse me, I don't think so. Unfortunately, my gun doesn't be able to reload in time, and no, he gets me, unfortunately. So, of course, he just goes into a bit of skirmishing mode, and I'm trying to keep my eyes focused on him, but at the same time, the T-34-1. So, unfortunately, I couldn't. So in this one, I tried to get a shot in. Shot goes a little too far forward. I should have paid more attention and time, because now I have the perfect opportunity, but I'm reloading. So, unfortunately, I don't get the ability to kill him. However, I nearly kill the AMX, but the damn thing keeps shooting and it keeps ricocheting. So I decide then to charge, and bang! There you go. Moving kill, no scope and everything. Quite a nice thing. So by this point the game is coming up to its final conclusion, and an IS character says, "Help me!" So I'm like a hero going, "Oh, hang on, I'm on my way." In, the mother of all ironies, an IS shouting for help and a Tiger coming in to help him out. I just find that really funny. So anyway, I'm coming in to help out with the IS, and realising the fact that the Tiger P has stronger hull armour at the front, I wanted to make sure that my shot wouldn't just bounce off and give me an option to be completely oblivious to him. So I decided to go for the lower glacis and bang, do a nice solid shot on the side. Trying to find a way in, and bang, the IS has the kill. Which by this point the game is pretty much over, and I'm like, good game guys, well played. I was quite surprised at the progress I had been able to make on that one. The Gewehrpanzer tries to make a shot on the IS, and I'm like, oh, that was close. That was very close. Having survived all that hell to only be destroyed by a Gewehrpanzer. By this point in the game, though, we were all kind of just swarming around the Gewehrpanzer, and nothing really was happening. Nothing really happened else in the game. So that was pretty fun, actually. Definitely had a good game, was won with my Tiger, and you can see my Tiger took a lot of punishment, but it did the job necessary, and you will be amazed at the second game. So, see you then. And we're back. So, in this match, in one of my least favourite maps of the game, El Haluf, we are put in slightly more favourable tiering odds, where at least Daimyo, once again, Daimyo joins the fray. We're at least we're put into more favourable tiering odds, and the game kind of picks up to a quicker start as the KV-13 and the Tiger P decide to go racing down the hill, completely oblivious to where the obvious camp zones are. I mean, these guys are brave and foolish, but whatever. So a T-43 decides to show up, doing the exact same thing. Unfortunately, my accuracy skills weren't too good, and the gun depression didn't help me out either. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any decent shots on him. Now here's a shot opportunity I should have taken. I should have had a shot at the enemy tank, but unfortunately I didn't. I focused my aim on the Tiger. Now, I think he's detracked, I'm not sure. But having noticed the guy started to look at me, I'm like, right, okay, maybe not. And so the guy who was behind me is like, hey man, follow me. And I wasn't sure if that was a good thing. And there's... yeah, I was just looking at the comment section because I didn't really focus too much on that. Basically, what the 8T28 guys wanted to do is they wanted us to go to the usual spam spot, which is often contested for during... and of course, because we're not doing exactly what they want us to do, we're a noob team. I really don't like it when someone does that. It's like, excuse me, I appreciate you want us to do something because you think it would work, but when the half the team says no, appreciate that, Don't be all arsey about it. Anyway, so the T-34-1 is now back in my sights, and unfortunately I don't get a shot in. Someone does damage him, which then of course makes the guy withdraw, and I try and have another shot, bang, Nope, no luck, but the T-34-1 gets blown up anyway. So here's an opportunity I kind of rushed into. The 88 decides to go out into the fray, and he's done a lot of damage. He set someone on fire, and I'm trying to find a way of cracking a shot when I spot the VK. So taking my time this time, I get a good shot into him, and I'm praying to the gods like, oh, can I get it reloaded? Can I get it reloaded? Oh, I'm so close, and bang! There's his first kill. Completely destroyed. So luckily got a kill there, and of course now the game of waiting occurs. And this is one of the main reasons why I'm not such a particularly big fan of this map, is simply because of this, where one team has taken casualties, so has the other. We're both equally drawn onto the teams, and no one's making any kind of commitments, which really does suck, because it just kills the momentum of the game. And of course other tanks are now starting to spam. It was by this point I thought we're going to be overwhelmed on the left-hand flank, because I didn't have too much faith in the team to the left. More often than not, I was basing it down to pure experience that was telling me, by the way, you might want to go over and help. And Daimyo was like, where are you off to? And I said, I'm just going to watch. And I said, yeah, I'm just going to head off to help defend the left-hand flank, because I didn't want to lose it. I said, we got to hold the front. You know, got to do it. Otherwise, we're going to lose here. So Daimyo says Daimyo does the decent thing and says, I'll hold them off here. And I spot a potentially easy kill, but realizing, I'm not going to get that. So I decided to try and head over back towards the IS-2, which is why at this point the Tiger shows his face again. And I kind of changed my mind about going for the IS-2, because a Tiger, long 88, can still be quite a threat. So I try and have a shot in against the Tiger, but unfortunately he disappears before such a miraculous luck is. And it was by this point the enemy team did the flanking operation and was about to attack our position where the T-43 with our priest was. The Panzer 38 NA, of course, was acting as scout for artillery. So unfortunately I was like, oh shit, quickly, you know, I was quickly typing, says can't kill PZ-38, he's scout for RT. And 1, 2, 3, aiming, and bang! Always lead your target, bang! So unfortunately my friend Daimyo was completely ripped apart by the enemy artillery. I will avenge him. I'm not saying I do, I'm just saying I will avenge him. Anyway, so T-43 versus the other T-43. It was one of the few times when I finally learnt how to send these kind of messages. So I'm like, dude, fall back! But of course it took me forever to do it, because it was the first time I ever did it. So I'm saying, look guys, you've got to fall back, you know, got to get him to fall back. And unfortunately the T-43 on our side gets hammered a bit, artillery and all. And I'm telling him, look, lure him back, lure him back. And we go into a kind of an interesting stalemate, because obviously I've got bushes between myself and him, making it a lot harder to find. Of course he comes out in front of us, bang, I preempt it. Like I said, combat is not easy to describe. So I'm trying to find a shot in, the T-43 shoots at me, I'm at the perfect diagonal angle. I will just pause it now again, because A, the pace is really fast, and I'm trying to find a way of doing it as fast as I can whilst being informative. For those of you who don't know what the perfect angle is, I think this is the perfect angle. Everyone says it's like a 45-degree angle to where your opponent is, and I think I've got it, because it will show, or for an easier reference, the diamond shape. The diamond shape is pretty much where your top part here is pretty much in line with the enemy tank. So when they're shooting at you, as you can see here, this increases the angle that the shell needs to move to penetrate as much as possible. Now it could just be that his shell was fired at a weird angle and he was aiming for more of my front here or my turret, but this angle that I had was pretty much the necessary one to be able to increase my chances of avoiding a penetration. It's very important that you learn this, because otherwise in a tank like the Tiger you will often be penetrated when you've got the front armor like that, or the side armor like that, or even the rear armor like that. So it's always a good thing to make sure that you've got sides in a diamond-like formation. Anyway, back to the story. So I realised one of the SU-100s is now starting to distract him. Thankfully I caught my sights on the enemy tank and I thought, aha! I think I know what to do here. So I decide to go forwards. And as I'm going forwards, I'm being very tactical. I'm trying to type messages to the team saying, yeah, good job, keep that guy there. Because obviously the T-43, the T-43 scared of the SU-100, but the SU-100 scared of the T-43. So I decide to go around the flank and bang! Do a decent shot on. And the T-25/2 is there. And here's another tactic which is quite a cool one. If you're being shot at, get close to your enemy. Really get close, because the enemy can't then shoot at you without fear of hitting your enemy. Now I have to sacrifice my health points for this one, because this is quite a dangerous one. So I take the shot, I get kill him, and then I start taking the most nasty abuse of my life in this thing. So I'm taking heavy fire, the Tiger's aiming at me, and my tracks are down. So I'm like, ah crap. So I'm being shot from multiple angles, being shot by both artillery and TDs. So I decide to start spamming rounds. I'm like, die! Any of you, die! Die! And I'm still taking a fire. And then I get shot, set on fire, quickly get my tracks back up. And I'm like, shit! 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 Bang! There's artillery trying to kick me out. So it's all getting megally crazy over here. We've got enemy artillery trying to kill me out. We've got enemy TDs trying to shoot me and set me on fire. I just barely survived a fire from this thing. So not only is my engine completely buggered, my tracks are buggered, my health is 0, and I'm still backing up, and I'm like, that was too bloody close. And I just said, yeah, that was lucky. I couldn't believe how lucky I was in that one. So we have the momentum of the game, and this is where I kind of went a bit stupid, because I was typing and I had also pressed D before I started properly typing, so I was going in a lovely circle. Pointless circles for the win, everyone. The T-29 player, whilst I was trying to do a twirl, decides to move up and try and push. Now, I wasn't really a big fan, nor did I really want to go for... I wasn't planning on going over towards the other side. And unfortunately our artillery, I have no idea what was going on. He wasn't paying attention to the front line. I don't really know. I wasn't paying too much attention to the chat comment. So I'm trying to highlight to the line to say, come on guys, you know, the guy who was here, who had been telling us to do stuff all the time, I was telling him to get onto the front. I said, move up if you can, we have the advantage. We were able to move up, and I saw a rock and everything. But yeah, so we were able to push up towards the enemy position, and this was when the T-29 decided to come in, and I was aiming, I was taking my time, aiming, and bang, of course it would ricochet. So, always the way, isn't it, with this thing? So unfortunately I take a shot and I couldn't do anything else with it. So now I decided to really gun it down towards the ridge, because now that the T-29 and us having fire superiority meant that I could happily move up alongside. If I wasn't spotted, that was. I was terrified that I was going to be spotted by him, and I was going to end up losing. I was going to end up being hit by artillery. So I tell the T-29 to fall back, which by that point I died. He dies. Yes, did you notice I died back there? So unfortunately the T-29 dies, and the T-43 says, if the heavy stop camping... So we're approaching this point, and I'm kind of terrified now, because I can't see the enemy. Most of what my health is a one-shot, one-kill, and to make matters ever so slightly worse, I was trying to get ready. I was like pumping myself. I'm like, alright, if I spot him, you've got to be ready, artillery. And to make matters ever so more dramatically worse, my tank decides not to go up the hill. And I'm like, for God's sake, tank! Of all the times you could have stopped, now is not one of them. And I actually gave myself a morale speech. I'm like, you are the finest of Germany's machinery. For God's sake, a hill is not going to stop me now. So I'm trying to get to the top of this hill. And my heart's starting to beat a lot more now, because I'm like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. And I'm like, SU-100, give me some help, God damn it. So I was kind of worried at this point, because obviously I didn't want to die. And then, bam, Jagdpanzer. I didn't realise the Jagdpanzer was targeting the SU-100. If I had said that, if I realised, I'm like, actually SU-100, don't. So the Jagdpanzer, I said, my mind, Artie, hit him! Hit him! And artillery does actually hit him, which is quite nice, because then it allows me to get close enough, and, oh, close up, close, oh no! I didn't get, no! Come on! Ah, bang! Oh god! I was panicking there. So, at this point, I was just like, oh shit! That was close. And unfortunately then we lose our last, heavy tank, well, that was on our side. And of course this guy was all like, oh fuck you man, no. And then I spot the AMX 105, and then I think, oh wait a minute, no, I'm not going to waste this opportunity to get revenge. I'm going to get him back for what it is. AMX made some mistake, I nearly back into that, bang! He's gone. So, whilst I'm reloading, the IS player's getting all RC, the humble player's there, and there's the T-25. So then we enter into what was my most frightening duel in this thing. I have low health, he has low health, I take another hit, I'm like, oh shit, and I was like, I'm dead, I'm sorry, I tried, I'm gonna die. But then, as we're coming around the corner, I'm like, right, okay, one last shot, and oh, that was so close. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to charge him. I'm charging! Hoorah! Bang! Oh my god, I was like, shower! I couldn't believe how close I was to dying then. So at this point, I was really happy, and I was really terrified. So I was now approaching the village, and I didn't actually see the comment section, because I quickly type as I'm approaching the village, yo, artillery, just watch this area, try and see if you can take them out if you can. You know, arty, watch for their arty. And unfortunately, I hadn't seen that previous text. So by this point, we're scanning the entire battlefield. The game could easily go tits up for us as well, because the enemy artillery could be about. So, having complete, oh, I don't know, I have always had the sod's law feeling until the worst moment happens. And this is kind of where I make a mistake. I see the Hummel, and I'm like, there you are! And I'm like, guys, he's over there! And so, I kind of make a mistake here, because he stops, and I could have easily gone for him. And it was only then when I decided to move a bit further forward, is when the SU-100 MI1 comes in. Right, so, to summarize, I had one of the best games in this Tiger tank. And yeah, I hadn't got my professional crew in this thing. I hadn't got any special things in this, barring what equipment I had already equipped onto this thing that I left when I transferred the crews. So, you know, this kind of acts as two things. One, it acts that luck was on my side that day, because Jesus Christ, I should have died when they first started blamming me with their artillery. And there were so many other occasions where, had I just made a little bit more of a mistake, or if they had just been a little bit more accurate, or if the odds were more in their favour, yada yada yada, it would have been totally different. However, bless the fates, it wasn't, and bless the fates, we were able to come out on top. So, good God, that was close. Another thing was, you can actually do this well in tanks like this. And this is the kind of thing which is why I love this game, because there are games out there where it gets all chaotic and it gets really annoying because you've got really shit teammates. But there are days like this when you get into a battle with one of your mates and it goes this well for you. It's just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, best match in this tank. So, and that ends the video. So if you like this kind of content, do let me know. I'm not professional, I'm not really good at looking at replays. I kind of, as you can tell, probably speed talk a little bit, and I probably don't go over all of the details. I probably need to learn how to do it. I either need to watch it a number of times or whatever. But as the 8.5 patch is being uploaded tomorrow, that's April the 24th, I thought, ah crap, I need to get these things sorted. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you like this, please rate, subscribe, you know, likes, comments, anything like that. Any feedback is always appreciated. I know it can be annoying to type a few words in the comment section, but if you can, I would be very grateful, because then I can change the content. I can actually I can try and do I can try different ways to do my World of Tank videos. Extra cool shot there. You know, all that jazz. So yeah, if you guys like that style of content, let me know and I will happily provide more. So here it is, this is Crap Hunter signing out. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you next time.